Welcome to Gentle Yoga. Let's begin with our block, our ball, small tune-up ball, and the stability ball. So what we'll do is we'll use the stability ball on our mat with a block. So what I'd like you to do is have your block right beside your ball. And what we'll do is we'll sit on our block, just like this. So just the tailbone on your block. And so your stability ball is right behind you. So right at about the low back, and if you have a wall that you want to lean your ball up onto, you can use that as extra stability and extra support. And so we're sitting cross-legged, and what we'll do is we'll just pass our rubber ball from hand to hand, just like this. So I want you to stretch out your fingers nice and wide, holding that small ball, and just moving through 3 ranges of motion. So bringing your arm as low as it can go, bringing it up just 1 degree, and then bringing the arm up to shoulder height. So just 3 ranges of motion. Down, down, up, up. And outstretch your fingers as best as you can. So you're holding onto this light ball, or just really the ball is just set in the palm of your hand, and you're spreading out your fingers. So you have this light object to support, but we're focused mainly on the gentle flow that we're creating in the one shoulder. So just one arm at a time, seated with your back on your stability ball and your tailbone on your block in a comfortable, stable, seated position. So now let's do the same on the other arm, right? So we'll just gently place our tune-up ball in the other hand, outstretch the fingers, and just see if you can move through those 3 ranges of motion. So letting the arm drop as low as it can go, bringing it up 1 degree, and then up to about shoulder height, right? So down, down, up, up. Just 3 ranges of motion. So it literally looks like this. So we're just down, down, up, up, down, down, up, up. So I'll turn so that you can see what I'm doing with that arm. So keep moving. Keep going there. Just pivoting. Just changing position with ankles crossed or legs outstretched, right? So you're sitting with your tailbone propped up by your block, and your ball is now supporting or just lightly touching your lower back, right? So we go outstretched fingers up, up to shoulder height, down, down, down. So we're going to be working through our fascia today and our connective tissue, getting synovial fluid moving through gentle practice today. So find your breath, inhaling deeply, exhaling completely, and just feel the fluid and the mobility now coming into the shoulder, because we're just moving it from its lowest position to about shoulder height, out to the side, and down with fingers outstretched, just cupping or lightly supporting your tune-up ball. And just one more time, up, 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 down, down, down. So now we can come standing. So that was just an easy warm-up for the shoulders. And now we'll come standing using our stability ball in a forward back motion, right? So we'll keep the block handy, but we won't need it for this set. And I just want you to bring one leg forward and one leg back. So in essence, it's this pyramid, yes? This pyramid leg position. And you can bring your feet further apart widthwise so that you feel more stable and balanced, right? So now what we'll do is we'll find our arm and shoulder mobility holding our rubber ball again, right? So I want you to just reach the arm up and then circle it around your head. Reach up, and then you're drawing a circle just around the head, right? So you're lightly holding your rubber ball and you're just drawing this circular motion over your head, and just notice what that feels like in your shoulder. And now switch direction. Go slowly. And if you want to hold the other arm out for balance, you can do that. And now let that arm relax. Just a few light shoulder rolls behind. And now see if you can move the arm the same way we did when we were seated, right? So find your balance through your feet, right? So the legs are somewhat active, just a forward back motion through the legs, finding our equal standing with the legs scissored apart like this. And then we'll just come up 1 degree, up to shoulder height, down, down. So the slower you go, the better, right? So a pause, and down. So just a up, up, down, down. So just think fluid, smooth, gentle, slow arm motion while the legs are now active, right? Because we're standing in this pyramid and we can even be squishing the ball a bit between our front calf and our back shin. And now let's incorporate that circle over the head, right? So just a circle over the head 3 times. And then switch direction, going the other way. Circular motion. And I'm just cupping the ball between my thumb and my palm. And now a big shoulder roll back. So let's focus on this hand now that's been holding the ball. So we'll just set the ball down and I will switch legs in our pyramid. So let's bring the other leg forward, the other leg back, and just wedge your ball between the calf and the shin. And I want you to find this intention before we stretch out the fingers of the hand that was just holding that tune-up ball. I'm never stuck when I live within the present moment. So I thank you for being here now, present with me now. So we're never stuck when we live within the present moment. So all we're doing is pressing the palm forward, and I just want you to use your other fingers to pull your thumb away from the rest of the fingers. So I'm pressing this arm forward as though I'm pressing it into a wall, the palm, and then I'm just pulling my thumb down. Find your balance from foot to foot so that the legs are somewhat active now, yes? And now let's do the same with the index finger, but now we're gonna pull it towards us, right? So all my other fingers are coming towards you, and I'm just, with my peace fingers, index and middle finger of my other hand, I'm just pulling my index finger towards me. And then try the other middle finger space. So consciously send the other fingers forward while you're pulling the one finger towards you. And another, right? So we're just working through the tendons and the ligaments and the connective tissues through the hand now, as well as strengthening the leg. So I want you to squeeze your ball between your front leg and your back leg, just gently. And subtle squeeze, maybe 10-20% effort through the legs, and lift through the top of the head at the same time. Okay, so we can shake out that hand. And now what I want you to do is send that arm into sort of a semicircle, right? The one that we've just been focused on, right? Just a circular motion, just right across the chest space, right? So right across shoulder height. Let's go with 4. 3, hopefully feeling a bit of mobility now in the lower spine. 2, and 1. Great, so we're just getting all the blood circulating through the shoulder, getting the synovial fluid moving so that our shoulders function the best that they can. Let's switch the legs back to the opposite leg now, coming into our pyramid leg stance. Let's pick up our tune-up ball again for the other hand. Right, so wedge your ball, find your balance, right? So forward back with your stability ball so that you're finding a good stable base through your feet. And now a little squeezing action, right? So I find a little inward turning of that back thigh is quite useful. So palm up, fingers outstretched, and just going up, 2, 3, down, 2, 3. So as you're lifting up, 2, 3, I want you to feel your shoulder blade bones squeezing together. Down, 2, 3. And remember, our intention for our practice today is that we're never stuck when we live within the present moment. So be with all the feelings and all the sensations that are showing up in your being right at this moment. Right, so the legs might be trembling a little bit now because we're squeezing the ball. Maybe the feet feel very balanced, right? You're pressing equally between front foot and back foot. The top of the head is being pulled skyward. And what a beautiful sky we have this morning. The birds are chirping, the sun is out. There's an extra spring in everybody's step. And now just one more time, moving through this gentle, fluid shoulder range of motion. Up, 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 down, down, down. And now let's hold the arm at shoulder height and now practice that circle, right? So you're just drawing the circle, you're just loosely holding your rubber ball in the web of your thumb and your palm, and now switch direction. Use the breath. Wonderful shoulder flow. So now just to roll back a few times, right? So rolling back. And now we can set the ball down. Let's switch legs again. So send the other leg forward, the other leg back in this held pyramid ball posture, right? So if you don't have a ball, you can easily use a chair, right? The seat pan of a chair, and turn the chair sideways. So now we can, with the arm that we were just circling overhead, we're now going to create this across the chest and reach back. Across the chest, reach back. Let's do this for 5. For 4, keeping the legs fairly stable. 3, keep the knees bent. 2, one more time. Excellent, lots of fluid now in the shoulder, right? So we'll stretch out the fingers now of this hand that was just holding the rubber ball. So we'll press the palm forward like we're saying stop, or that we're pushing the hand into an imaginary wall. And now we'll use our peace fingers and just pull the thumb away from the rest of the fingers. So I'm going to squeeze my fingers together and send them in the opposite direction now. Finding some balance from foot to foot, lifting through the crown of the head, and taking a nice deep breath and just remembering my mantra and my intention that I'm never stuck when I live within the present moment. Thank you so much for being here now, present with me, moving this thumb with me. And now the index finger will get pulled back while the rest of the fingers press forward. Feel that deep stretch through the whole palm of the hand, maybe even in the wrist and the forearm. And now find your balance again from foot to foot between front foot, back foot on the ball. So challenging balance and some muscular stability in the legs while we stretch the fingers, shoulders. Now that middle finger gets pulled back, the rest of the fingers come forward. Right, so I'm spreading out the rest of my fingers and sending them towards you, towards the camera, and then pulling my my middle finger now back towards me. Find a little inward rotation of your back leg, even bending your knee and just pressing it into the ball can create a nice release through the lumbar spine. Ring finger. Relax the shoulders. You can even let the arm drop a little bit, right? So if you're noticing a lot of tension in the shoulders doing this, just drop them down. Take another big breath into the lower lobes of your lungs. And remember your mantra. I'm never stuck when I live within the present moment. So notice every physical sensation that's occurring right at this moment. And lastly, the pinky finger, pulling it towards us for a nice easy opening of all the fascia, connective tissue, ligaments, tendons, musculature, fascia. Fascia is like cellophane, right? So fascia is a lot like saran wrap, layers of saran wrap. And this is why using balls, specifically stability ball like apparatuses, can be useful, right? Because the texture of the ball is very similar to our own fascia, right? So then when we lean certain body parts against the ball, so we've switched legs again, we're just gonna keep alternating the pyramid legs. And now we'll practice that circle overhead again, and just lightly hold your rubber ball between your thumb and your ring finger if you can. Just tapping into the creative energy of the sun. Breathing in, breathing out, and now we'll switch direction. So just circling in the opposite direction. So as long as you're creating some motion in the shoulder, that's the goal here, right? So don't ever feel like you have to reach your arm way overhead, if that's what I'm doing. you can easily draw your circle like so, right? Just getting a bit of shoulder shrugging involved, right? Just to bring blood flow into both shoulders. Switch direction one more time. Keep lifting the top of the head while you ground your feet. Wedge your legs into the ball. And now let's close the arms, open the arms. Close the arms forward so we drop the head. Open the arms so we lift the head. One more time. Closed, open chest. And now we can switch hands, switch legs. Last time for pyramid. Lots of pyramid today with the legs. So finding that forward back position that feels stable, right? So both feet are doing some work. And you can just gently squeeze the ball, 10% through the front leg, 10% through the back leg, a little push. And now we can hold our ball between the ring finger and the thumb, just lightly, while the other fingers are spread out for a circular motion. Right, just getting blood flow into that whole shoulder, moving smoothly, slowly, gently. And then switching direction. Right, so a forward rolling, breathing out, maybe even involving a little bit of our upper spine, right? So feel your torso twisting forward and to the side. Let's switch direction just one more time. Use the breath and be present. Notice what you feel in the body right at this very present moment. Here now. Inhale on here, exhale on now. That can be the condensed version of our mantra. Here as you inhale, now as you exhale. Okay, so let's now have a seat on our ball. So just sitting on our ball, what we're going to do is do a little bit of footwork and then come standing again. So what I'd like you to do is just come back far enough so that you can press your rubber ball just under the ball of your left foot. And just in this seated position, I want you to roll your ball forward and back. So it's a half of your body pressure, right? Because we're seated, right? And we're just gently waking up the tissue through the palm of the foot in a seated position. So as you're seated, keep lifting through the top of your head, relaxing your shoulders, and you're just rolling this rubber ball under your left foot. And so as this left foot is receiving the rolling, what we'll do now is bring some mobility into the right shoulder and hand. So I want you to bring the arm out to the side and turn the fingers up. And now I want you to curl your fingers and then release your fingers. So really you're just moving through the first two joints or first two creases of your knuckles, right? So you're closing the knuckles, opening them, closing, opening them. And at the same time, you're reaching the arm away from your side body, right? So it becomes this connective tissue release through the first two knuckles or first two creases of our fingers. For 4. Keep rolling that left foot. 3, 2, and 1. Good, just shake out that hand, roll the shoulder a bit because it's been lifted, and now we'll switch feet. So taking that ball under the right ball of our foot, finding our support, equal support through the sit bones, whether you're on your stability ball sitting or on the edge of a chair, either will work. And just start rolling through the foot, right? So just rolling that rubber ball under the palm of the foot. Hopefully the foot that's just been rolled out feels a little more limber or a little more mobile. I'm lifting and dropping the toes of the foot that just had the ball. And now I'll hold this arm out to the side. And practice the same that we did, right? Just curling the fingers, the first two knuckles or the first two joints, right? So the palm of the hand is stretched out just like when we were pulling the fingers back. And we're just curling the first two joints or the first two creases of our fingers, down, up, getting right into the connective tissue of the fingers, right? Fingers are very neglected. Fingers, toes, feet, hands are very neglected. So this is why we're focusing on them today. We're giving them some attention, a little TLC. For 3, 2, and 1. Great, just shake out the hand, Draw a circle with the head, switch direction, just a couple circles just to get the neck to soften and release any of its tension. So let's now come standing, holding our large ball and placing it right in our abdomen. So we're going to place it right in the solar plexus just to help release any anxiety. So we're going to bring that rubber ball back under the foot that we started on, right? So that right foot is going to have the rolling or the rubbing of our ball. And we're just going to hug the large stability ball as deeply into our abdomen as we can. So I'd like you to breathe as deeply as you can. Notice the arms are holding your ball, but fairly low so that the shoulders can be relaxed, right? So pull the ball right into your abdomen. And if you don't have a ball, you can place the hands on the abdomen, right? One hand over the other, while we roll out the left foot, keeping the other knee soft, right? So we're just friction rubbing the palm of the left foot, just releasing that fascia, that those layers of cellophane are getting opened up now. Breathe into your ball. Feel the abdomen puff into that stability ball if you can. One more deep breath. And just rolling out that one foot. Okay, so now what we'll do is we'll bring the ball behind us while we roll out the right foot. So if you're holding onto your ball like so, and it feels like you're going to lose the ball, or if it feels too effortful for the shoulders, you can lean your ball into a wall. Okay? But if you can manage with the arms holding the ball and just breathing now into your back body and rolling out that right foot. Right? So the intention is to just connect our large ball to as much of our body as we can so that it gets entrained or knows that the fascia can start to let go of its tension or knots, right? Soften your other standing knee. Look straight ahead. This one is definitely more challenging for the chest and the biceps. I'm really feeling chest opening and bicep opening. I'm noticing that my forearms are having to do some work in my hands just to hold the ball here. Take a nice deep breath. Try to feel your ball supporting your back here, the large ball. Great, so now we can use our large ball overhead. So we'll just set that rubber ball off to the side. I'm going to bring the block back into this, and we'll use the block now to do a step up. Right, so I'm going to keep the ball on my side ribs of the foot that's going to come up onto my block. Right, so I'm just going to do this little step up and down, and now I'm going to incorporate this smooth arm sweep. Right, so every time I lift onto my block, I'm sending my hand to my opposite shoulder and then reach back. I've hooked my stability ball right into my side so that this shoulder gets a break. Right, breathe. Just getting some blood flow into all the joints, right? Elbows, shoulders, knees, ankles, hips are all active with this one. Let's do two more. One more. Excellent. Let's try the other side. So I want you to really exaggerate the foot motion, right? Because our focus is mainly feet and hands, or the primary focus of our practice today is feet and hands. I want you to really roll through as big of a range of motion as you can through the foot that's on the floor, right? The foot that's not on the block. And the foot that's on the block, just let the knee bend and extend. Let the knee do most of the work here as you lightly balance. And you'll notice the foot that's on the floor never has to leave the floor either, right? You can roll from the heel of that foot to the toes. And now a reach, right? So just gentle, smooth, slow movements. And then we will come back to the fingers and the hands in just a moment. Let's try 5 of these now. 4, focus on that bottom ankle. 3, 2, and 1. Excellent for our shoulders, excellent for our feet. And now we can bring the ball overhead. So just set the ball on the very top of your head. Take a nice deep breath, soften the knees, bend the knees, and now just draw a circle again, just right over your head. 3 times, and then switching direction for 3. We're just getting mobility now into our upper ribs and our shoulders. Great, so now we can set our ball against a wall or a coffee table, right? So I want you to have the stability of a wall for this one if you could. I'm going to set my ball right here against the wall. And I'm going to use the block, just like how we started, right? And I'll bring in the tune-up ball as well. So ready for sitting against the wall, right? And your ball, right? So I'm just going to bring my tailbone right onto my block. And now I've got the ball supporting my back. So what we're going to do is open up the inner thighs now. We're going to practice some butterfly stretches or cobbler stretches. So we'll bring the soles of the feet together now and drop the inner thighs open. And now we can use the rubber ball to roll sort of in a zigzag down the length of the inner thigh. So you'll notice by spreading out your fingers, both the palm of the hand and the inner thigh now benefit from this ball rolling along the length of the inner thigh. So just be very careful not to bring the ball too close to your inner knee. It just comes just above the inner knee on the inner thigh space, and you're just moving through this sort of sawing motion in a vertical fashion along the horizontal opening of the inner thigh. Right? So you might feel like you want to come a little closer to the groin space, right? So the groin area holds many lymph nodes. So this is a great way to get our body's natural garbage disposal working better. And at the same time, in this butterfly stretch position with your stability ball supporting your back, keep lifting through the top of the head, right? So we're not just sitting here slumped and letting our energy fall into the earth. We're lifting ourselves up so that the spine is lengthened and that we can feel maybe the breath expanding between the connection of our ball and our back. So remember that we're never stuck when we live within the present moment. And presently, we're focused on the inner thigh. The groin, the inner thigh space on this one side. We're just rolling our ball between our fingers and the palm of the hand, upwards and downwards from the knee to the hip. While the soles of the feet are together, our seat is propped up on our block. So we've got these 3 tools that we're using, actually 4, including the wall, supporting our back. Great, so now we can release the ball and come back to the finger work that we practiced before. So let's do a different leg position before we come back into butterfly to roll out the opposite groin or inner thigh space. So let's come into our constructive rest legs now. We're just going to send the feet forward and roll the thigh bones inward now. Right, so let the inward rolling happen from the thigh bones. You can even roll onto the inner arches of your feet. And then I want you to hold both arms out. And now we're going to do the first 2 knuckles, or the first 2 joints of the fingers, rolling them, crunching them together, and then expanding them. Top of the finger crunch and expand. And now we can involve the thumb, right? So crunch, release. Compact, lengthened. Compact fingers, lengthen, right? So get as much mobility in the joints of your fingers as possible here. For 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Okay, we can shake out the hands, roll the shoulders back, press out the tongue for a couple of lion faces now. Once more. And now back to palms of the feet together in our cobbler stretch position. So soles of the feet together, reposition your seat on your block. Use the ball if you have a wall or a couch to lean your ball up against. And just enough so that you can feel a bit of the low back puffing into your ball, right? So now with our rubber ball, we'll outstretch our fingers and we'll do this sort of sawing motion along the inner thigh groin space of the opposite leg. So I started with the right leg, now I'm on my left. And just remember that we're never stuck when we live within the present moment. So you'll notice that there's gems, right? So there's certain gems, there's 3 gems actually that I'd like to offer you today that help us tap into our creative center. And our creative center is our birthright. It's everybody's birthright to be creative. It's not just for painters or writers or musicians. It's for everybody. That creative energy of the sun is offered to all of us. So I'd like you to contemplate this first step. This first step in tapping into the creativity that is our birthright is to stop comparing today to yesterday. So look upon today as a brand new day, a brand new you, and there's no need now to compare today to yesterday. So we're not the same as we were a year ago. We're not the same as we were when we were 5 years old. We're not the same as we were even yesterday. So look upon right now and today as completely new. Because it is, in truth. So rolling your tune-up ball up and down the groin space just one more time. Spread out your fingers. Breathe. And I will set that rubber ball down. And now let's lift the arms, walk the feet forward, but keep them in a longer-legged butterfly. Now just do a fold over. Just folding over this long-legged butterfly-like position. Let the chin drop, let the head be heavy. Spread out the fingers. You can rest the hands on the feet or on the shins. And just take a few deep breaths, just noticing the connection between your tailbone now maybe and your stability ball behind you. Notice the solid support of the block under your sit bones. And just one more breath. Just releasing any tension from the whole spine, the head, the neck, the arms, the face, and then rolling ourselves back up. So now we're ready for a bit more standing work, rolling our ball under the palm of our foot. So let's carefully and gently bring ourselves from this seated posture to a standing position. So we won't need the ball or the block for this one, the stability ball. We'll just bring our tune-up ball under our one foot again as we practice some arm motions, right? Just to get into the shoulders again. So just place that rubber ball under the sole of your left foot and just pressure now. Just a bit of pressure like you're stomping. And as we're pressuring this ball under the left foot, what I want you to do is start inwardly and outwardly rolling the opposite thigh. So we're going to outwardly roll, and then as we stomp into the ball, we're going to inwardly roll the whole leg, right? So we're just going to try to get as much fluid and mobility into this right hip as possible. So as you outwardly roll this thigh, you're now going to stomp on a different spot of that left foot, and now inwardly roll the thigh, lean into the outer foot as you stomp or roll the ball under the opposite foot, right? Just one more time. Outward roll, stomp or pressure of the rubber tune-up ball or your tennis ball under that left foot a few times. And now one last inward rolling of the whole leg. You're pushing into the outer edge of the foot and just stomping or rolling on to the ball on a couple of different aspects of the sole of that left foot. Take a nice deep breath. So, out of those 3 keys of tapping into our creativity, we covered actually the first 2. So the first one is to stop comparing today to yesterday, looking upon every day with new eyes, fresh new eyes. So let's now roll out that right foot and notice what it feels like under that right foot. And then the second step in tapping into our creativity is to stop referring to yourself as who you were yesterday, last year, when you were 5 years old, right? We don't need to refer to ourselves in that way anymore because we know that that person is no longer. What's real is what's happening right at this moment, who you are right at this present time. knowing that even yesterday's self is an illusion. So today is completely new, never written. We're never in the same place twice in our life. And so the third step is to not automatically act upon old thoughts and reactions. So just becoming aware that if the same thought is running through your head, or the same words are coming out of your mouth, to just stop, pause, and say to yourself, I'm not that person anymore. And then receiving a few breaths to center yourself. And then once you feel settled, new responses will come when you're living in the present moment. So this helps us get unstuck. No longer allowing the limits of the mind to define who you are. So let's outwardly roll the opposite thigh and just do a little stomping pressure on the ball, and then inwardly roll that whole thigh, right? So I want you to exaggerate that and just kind of lean into the outer edge of that inwardly rolled thighed foot while we just do a little pulsing pressure on that rubber ball. Let's outwardly roll, do a little stomping pressure on the ball. Inwardly roll the whole leg, stomping pressure. So I've got that rubber ball under my right foot now. And just one more time, outward roll, stomp the pressure. And then inward roll, stomp the pressure. Take a nice deep breath. Fantastic. I hope the feet feel alive. So let's lift the toes, drop the toes. And now what we're going to do is take the legs wide, and we'll bring our stability ball back in. With the legs nice and wide, we'll just lightly connect the stability ball to the inner calves now. And so what I want you to do now is drop your upper body down, and now we're going to pick up the rubber ball, right? So it's light. It's just a light lift. Because the rubber ball weighs little to nothing, we're just picking it up and bringing it across the body, right? So we're coming into this cross motion. 2 more times, just getting a little deeper into the hips, a little bit into the shoulders and the elbows. 1 more time. And now let's add in that circle. So now that we're upright, just draw the circle over the head, switch direction, use the breath, and now we can switch hands, switch sides. So for this side, I'm going to turn my feet parallel to one another. Instead of having the legs outwardly rotated, I'm just going to have them parallel. So I'm going to come down and across, just to give the hips and the pelvis a different focus, right? So because this ball is so light, we use very little effort to pick it up. So let's drop it, release it, spread out the fingers for 1 set. Pick it up, hold it lightly, send it down, let it go, reach up, pick it up, reach it across on this diagonal motion, getting into the back line of our fascia between the inner thigh and the lats. 1 last time, holding the ball. And now let's draw that circle right over the head, 3 times in one direction. Switch direction, 3, 2, and 1. Fantastic. So now our finger stretch just 1 more time. So we'll set the rubber ball off to the side. Let's come back to where we started in the pyramid leg position. Right, so 1 leg forward, 1 leg back. Find your balance from foot to foot. And now we'll create our revolve twist. So let's lift opposite arm to that front leg, and now come into a gentle revolve triangle. So we just turn the head in the direction of that outer front leg, right? So triangle twist looks like this from the side. Right? Just turning the head. We don't need to move the arms out of this position. Just enjoy the opening in the hips here. Inhale, exhale. Hopefully feeling a nice long stretch down this IT band. And then gently rolling ourselves up. So let's pump the elbows back a couple of times and then open the arms twice. Double elbow pump, Double straight arm pump. One more time, getting that synovial fluid moving through the shoulders and the shoulder blades. Okay, let's switch legs. So other leg forward, other leg back. Right, finding that pyramid leg position, squeezing the ball a little bit. And now find that little inward turning of your back thigh. And now let's double elbow pump, double arm pump. One more time, double elbow pump, double arm pump. And now we can lift opposite arm to front leg so that we can come into that triangle twist now, right? Just letting the hand rest on the shin and looking in the direction of that outer leg, just feeling the rotation now in our low back and our upper back. So if we want, we can take this bottom arm and just wrap it behind our back. Find your balance from foot to foot. Breathe deeply, right? So let's breathe as deeply as we can to be here now. So inhale on the word here, exhale on the word now. And then carefully rolling ourselves back up. So let's have a seat on our ball now. Just a little bounce, right? So in this little bouncing motion, I want you to draw a little circle with the pelvis like you're using a hula hoop. Right? So with this little hula hoop motion, you're just going in one direction and then switch, right? So just a pelvic circle, breathing and breathing out. And just see if you can rock forward and back now. Just a forward back motion. So when you rock back, just notice that the abdominal wall can become quite active. When you come forward, there's a release of the low back, abdominal effort, abdominal rest. One more time. Abdominal effort, and then abdominal rest. So that completes our practice this morning. Let's come into Shavasana for a closing meditation. So I'll give you a few moments just to set yourself up in your most comfortable relaxation pose. And if you would like to use the block under your seat in a reclined legs up posture for closing meditation, feel free to do that, because we did a fair bit of standing. So that would probably be my first suggestion, is using the block under the seat for the legs up, or even bridge pose with support. So just remember that you're never stuck when we live within the present moment. And our body has not been in the exact same moment twice in a row. So therefore, the body and our being is designed to create a new or evolved response hundreds of times throughout a day. We're designed mentally, physically, and emotionally to be just as creative as any painter, writer, or anyone who refers to themselves as an artist. We're all artists of our own lives. And so just remember that to unstick ourselves from a past self or an old self is releasing the mind's limitations in defining who you are. So the mantra now can transform from I'm never stuck when I live within the present moment, or inhaling on here, exhaling on now, to simply I am. Aham. Aham can be your focus for closing meditation. So listen now for the spiritual teachers and heroic warriors and the yogic masters echoing and vibrating through every cell of your being as you come into stillness. Listen now for the earth and its support and the Akashic ethers. Listen for the oceans and the lands of the world and the nether regions of the underworld. Listen, because death cannot touch us. The devotees are forever in bliss, listening pain and misdeeds are erased because we're here now. I bow to your essential self that is pure creativity, an infinite source of all possibilities. That's the same in me. Namaste.